So my first bet is with the injured guys. That includes Walter Nolen, Ojulari, Bilal Nichols, Justin Jones. If these guys are going to make the roster, and well, of course Walter Nolen is, I don't think any of them will be available in the first 4 games of the season. I think they'll go on the injured list.
Oh boy, here we go again. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack up that like button and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. On this channel, we're covering the Arizona Cardinals news, breaking news, conversational pieces, everything surrounding your favorite team. So subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. But if you guys didn't already notice, it seems like the Arizona Cardinals are probably trending in the direction to have probably some bad news within the next few days. Now, the last update that we ended up getting here from Walter Nolen, from Jonathan Gannon, is that Walter Nolen currently is still on the PUP list, which is the PUP list for the Arizona Cardinals. And of course, if the Cardinals do not remove him along with the other guys that are on the PUP list before the 53-man roster cut down, they have to miss a minimum of 4 weeks. Now, the clip that we ended up hearing a little earlier in the intro was from Burns and Gamble of Arizona Sports. We ended up hearing John Gambadoro breaking down the defensive line, and what he said straight up was he doesn't feel like the guys currently on the injured reserve list are going to be ready for week 1. And his prediction out there is most likely going to be that they're going to be finding themselves on the injured reserve list. And of course, that includes 16th overall pick in Walter Nolen. And this almost feels like deja vu. I know we talked about this a little earlier. We mentioned multiple different videos about this because obviously Darius Robinson being a first-round pick last year, he ended up getting hurt and re-aggravating his injury as well. And we didn't see him until the last 5 or 6 games of the season, which was a very small sample size. I was really hoping that we were going to be getting a different rookie year for Walter Nolen. Now, this is not set in stone. This is what he thinks. This is what he's actually hearing. This is how things are trending right now. Now, we know the NFL and all these different stories, right? Everything is so fluid, right? Things change from a drop of a hat, from day to day. Everything changes. But as of right now, on Tuesday, August the 19th, when the cut downs are supposed to be happening to the final 53 next Tuesday, it's trending in the direction that they're probably not going to be ready for the start of the season, most likely missing week 1 all the way through week 4, which is absolutely a dagger to the heart to the Arizona Cardinal fans and almost feeling deja vu again. Now, we're going to go ahead and break down this entire clip that he ended up, breaking down, because he ends up talking about B.J. Ojulari, Justin Jones, Bilal Nichols as well. So we're going to be going ahead and diving into what exactly he said, and then we're going to go ahead and dissect it, right? So let's go ahead and listen in.
Let's start with the fact that a lot of people are going to ask about all these players that are injured right now. Are any going to be back? You have Justin Jones, you got Bilal Nichols, you got Walter Nolen, you got B.J. Ojulari. There's a chance that, I think with Jones and B.J. Ojulari, I'm not sure if they're going to make the team or not. I don't know. There could be an injury settlement. They might make the team. They might not. But what I would tell you is that none of those guys are trending to be ready for week 1. Bilal and Justin, you get, again, some of these guys may not make the team, but they've got the cavalry. They got the guys that could replace them. It would be a gamble to try to make it work because they're not practicing right now. And, for them to get ready to be ready for week 2 or 3, it'd be a little bit of a gamble. So my first bet is with the injured guys. That includes Walter Nolen, Ojulari, Bilal Nichols, Justin Jones. If these guys are going to make the roster, and well, of course Walter Nolen is, I don't think any of them will be available in the first 4 games of the season. I think they'll go on the injured list.
So there you go. You got John Gambadoro basically breaking down the whole entire defensive line. Now, the good thing that we're living in a world where Monty Austinfort has done a really good job to maintain our defensive line depth that we end up having here. And we got some starters from the get, right? Now, we did end up hearing that Delvin Tomlinson actually practiced today, which is a breath of fresh air, because obviously we're hearing all these news for the defensive line, giving us a little deja vu from last year. But Dalvin Tomlinson ended up practicing today. Hallelujah. Josh Sweat has not played a preseason game and could play a game per Jonathan Gannon. They're keeping him healthy. You got Calais Campbell, Darius Robinson going into his year 2, Jordan Birch, you've seen some flashes here and there, Xavier Thomas on the outside, David Collins. So we got some guys, right? Baron Browning is another guy as well. We got some guys that are going to be able to kind of move into this role in case the Arizona Cardinals have some very, very tough decisions to make. Now, Walter Nolen, we all know he's going to make the roster. There's no shock about that. But I think what it comes as a surprise to me is that the trend, or at least the trending in the direction of him not being available in week one, and potentially for the first 4 weeks of the season, is a dagger in the heart for Cardinals fans because, like I said, this does not feel like he's going to miss an extended period of time like Darius Robinson, but it does feel like he's probably going to miss some sort of time, at least per John Gambadoro of Arizona Sports. Now, he also did mention Bilal Nichols and Justin Jones. I honestly thought it was the opposite. I thought that we probably would be dealing with a settlement, maybe with Bilal Nichols or maybe cutting him. He was saying Justin Jones might be a real possibility about potentially him not making the roster. And then you talk about BJ Ojulari as well, maybe not making the roster, which would be crazy. It was a former second round pick in 2023. I hope the Arizona Cardinals don't give up on him this quick. We have so much high expectations, especially in 2024. He was trending in the direction to be a very, very good player for the Cardinals. Unfortunately, he just got hurt. I was just hoping we put him on the PUP list this year to kind of be safe and get him ready for the regular season. But hearing what John Gambadoro is saying, there is a real possibility that he might land himself on the IR because of not being removed off the PUP list before the 53-man roster cut down. And that is another, we're just getting we're just getting like shots to the heart, man. This is it's pretty, I want to say, frustrating because like these are guys obviously they're trending in the direction, they're fighting to get back. It's not like they wanted to get hurt, right? So I don't think frustrating is the right word, but just kind of feels a little deflating, right? A little deflating. It almost kind of feels exhausting to kind of be in the back in the same position again. Now, Walter Nolen, 16th overall pick for the Arizona Cardinals. I want to see our first round picks give us production from the very first game. Now, obviously, if he's not 100%, don't force him out there, obviously. But the circumstances is that he's hurt, and it's trending that he might not be available in week 1, 2, 3, or 4 because of this calf injury. Now, like we said, the latest update from Jonathan Gannon is that he's trending in the right direction, no setbacks, but he's still on the PUP list. So that right there on its own, it's telling me that this coaching staff probably knows that he's going to miss time, but they do not want to give us the information as of yet. Maybe to kind of have these other guys in the bottom of the depth chart continue to fight in preseason, continue to put their 110%, in these practices that are currently happening right now within the Arizona Cardinals camp. And let's be real here, right? LJ Collier, this opens up room for him, right? This opens up room for Elijah Simmons to potentially make a jump, right? Because we're living in a world where we got four players on the defensive line that's supposed to be, or at least 2 or 3 of those 4 players are supposed to have a big impact on this defensive line. Walter Nolen, Justin Jones, and BJ Ojulari, right? Bilal Nichols, I guess you can swap him in and out of Justin Jones. It really kind of doesn't really matter to me, if I'm going to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, this is very, very deflating to hear this. Now, like I said before earlier, this is a scenario where this is what it's trending like right now. Things change up and down, right? Things change up and down when it comes down to news for the NFL. So we might be living in a world where we're on here next Tuesday and Walter Nolen gets removed off the PUP list. That would be amazing. That would be awesome to see that. Now, let's also live in the scenario where if Walter Nolen does get removed off the PUP list, along with BJ Ojulari, that doesn't mean they're going to be playing week 1 regardless, right? So we could also have to prepare ourselves for that. Calf injuries are very, very tricky. You never know exactly how to treat them because everything or everybody is so different when it comes down to those calf injuries. So we could still be living in a world where he gets removed off the PUP list, right? I'm talking about Walter Nolen as well as BJ Ojulari, but there's a real chance that he still might be missing week 1, right? Just not on IR and missing the 4 weeks. He can miss 2 weeks. He can miss 3 weeks. He can be available in week 4, right? And he could be inactive in game day, but not be put on the IR, which there's also that possibility as well. So hearing that right now we are a week away from the 53-man roster cut down, and the trend is that these guys, or most of them, might land themselves on the IR, does not feel good. at all as an Arizona Cardinal fan. But like I said, right, we made this whole 53-man roster prediction about defensive linemen. I accounted for Walter Nolen on the 53. I accounted for B.J. Ojulari on the 53. I accounted for Justin Jones on the 53. That means there's 3 positions there if they do land themselves on the IR, which opens up some room. Maybe L.J. Collier, right? Maybe we do bring in Elijah Simmons, which is the UDFA. Maybe we do go ahead and bring in another wide receiver, another offensive lineman, right? Anything is possible here when it comes down to filling up the holes. And I like the guys that we have on this roster, but just hearing that as a possibility and that it's trending in that direction as of right now, 1 week away from the 53-man roster cutdown, is a stab in the heart for Cardinal fans. But as of right now, we are going to have to wait for more updates from Jonathan Gannon and the Arizona Cardinals organization to give us the actual official update, hearing what they have to say. So, ladies and gentlemen, what are your overall thoughts on this possibility? Hearing what John Gambadoro of Arizona Sports ended up having to say? Let me know in the comments below. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day and go Cardinals.